This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. This is Bob David calling the meeting to order at 6:32 p.m., February 28th. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the October 22nd meeting and also the special meeting. I don't have the date in front of me. Maybe if you could help me on that. January.
That was more considered a POCD meeting.
Okay, so it's not, okay. So we'll just look for approval of the October 22nd meeting.
Alan Llewellyn, so moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Look for a second.
Ellen Sherbuck-Terry.
Thank you. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. By the way, thanks for everybody coming this evening on the special meeting. We got to keep everything on the agenda. We can't really go too far off because it is a special meeting. But we do have new business on there, so we could always deviate a little bit. But first and foremost, Boardwalk on Orange Trail. I know, Kelly, I saw you on before, so do we have any updates from anyone on that?
I don't have any updates on that as of right now, no.
I don't have any. We can go to the next item. If there's no discussion.
Hold on a second. So do we have any movement in that? Are we headed in the direction of doing that? Are we waiting on anything in particular?
I believe that I thought that I left this off, that I was going to do a site walk with someone. Does any of you remember that? But at this point, it was so long ago. I'm looking to pull up the meeting minutes right now.
And we were looking for volunteers and funding to do it. So, Bob.
Yeah, we did. There is a recreational trails grant open right now. It's closing tomorrow. But instead of just focusing on one trail, we wanted to do a master trails plan. So we did not apply for funding for the Orange Trail for that.
So we're just basically kind of stalled on the boardwalk is the story.
Well, it's something that we're leaving on the agenda though, Bob, because there's stuff that it still has to be done, and we can't lose focus of it.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid if we take it off the agenda, it's gonna be forgotten, and it has to be fixed.
My comment is along the lines of that it's been on the agenda for a long time. We've all talked about the need for it. I'm just kind of wondering when are we going to be able to move forward with it? And is that something that has to go in front of the town council in order to get funding, or is that something we have to get a grant in order to do it because the town isn't going to put that into their budget? I'm trying to understand. If somebody asks me about what's happening with the boardwalk on the Orange Trail, I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm looking for a way to answer that question. That's the honest answer.
I mean, I as chair, I will tell you right now, the answer is yes, Bob. We are looking for the town to fund it or grant to pay for it. I think it would be a little aggressive, I'll use that word, to expect the Boy Scouts or a private group to kind of go in there and kind of fix it.
Right.
I think it needs a little bit more than that.
Right. I mean, I think it's certainly worth doing in the forest. It's I'm not really sure how much it costs, but it's removing stuff. It involves materials. It involves at least reasonably skilled labor with somebody who has experience doing that kind of thing, and it would be a great improvement for the forest. So
I mean, if I had to throw a number on it, Bob, honestly, we looked at it doing on the low side years and years ago, and that was around $30,000. So given the cost of materials and everything like that, labor, I would have to think it's probably, this is just me throwing numbers out, probably somewhere between 50 and $75,000 to fix that.
Yeah, I don't have
And
a
I
good
think
way of
that's
whether that's a good number, a reasonable number or not. I just don't know.
Um,
So
if I could interject, I
no.
could also reach out to Connecticut Forest and Park Association, and they manage all of the Blue Blaze trails in the state of Connecticut.
uh
And I'm sure they would have a better idea of what a certain length of boardwalk might cost.
okay, I think that would be a good idea because at least you know if we're going to turn around and either try to get a grant or get the town, it would be nice to have a number that's a realistic number. I have no clue. Whether $30,000, $75,000 is a reasonable number for what we want to do in there, and again, it's been on the agenda for a long time. I think it's a need in the forest, and it seems to have just stalled. So uh, I'm not quite sure what else we do to have it move forward, but at least if we have a reasonable estimate of cost, then it makes the next step after that possible.
So I thought at one time we were looking for some seasoned, I'll say seasoned senior citizens to do this project.
Yeah, that has come about. The idea that there'll be a bunch of senior citizens who will, haul stuff in, take stuff apart, uh, plan it properly. I'm not sure that we want to do it that way. We had a Boy Scout troop many, many, many years ago. Uh, you know, put the boardwalk that's there in that position, and it's never really been a great boardwalk. I
Yeah,
think it deserves to have something better. Um, so my concern is that in order to keep moving forward, we need some sort of reasonable estimate of the cost that we could have confidence that's what it would take to get it done. So if Kelly could make the inquiry, that would be great. Then we could, perhaps look at it at the next meeting and say, okay, now where do we go from here?
sounds good. I think it's a big project though,
Okay.
also.
I'd like to add that I think the only way we know what's a reasonable cost for this is to have a design. So I don't know how the town handled the pavilion, but I'm guessing that somebody drew something, and then it was bid. So I
So
would think that that's what we need to do. We need to get somebody, probably a landscape architect who knows structure, but also knows how to handle the environmental conditions there in a sensitive way, to come up with a design that can then be bid.
and I agree with you, Chuck. I think that's definitely the way to go. So let's keep talking about it. Aileen, you got the minutes. Update the minutes. We'll go to the Bill. Bill, you're on the call, so I'm gonna push my councilman here, our council representative, to see what we can do to get that out.
Um,
But I think you're right, Bob. Everybody's right. We got to come up with a reasonable estimate, and then we see where we can go with it.
All right. If you could take that to council, that'd be great. It's going to be in the minutes, so that'll remind you, but we'll keep on you on that. So, because council's going to have to deal with this.
I can also talk to, we have an on-call architect that we use to do a lot of projects like for example, replacing some mortar at Longbrook. So we use him to sub out all of the other contractors, including landscape architects. So I can talk to him as well and see if maybe that's the route we should go.
Okay.
That'd be great, Cal.
Sounds good.
I think everybody's in favor of that. I don't want to shut anybody down on this one, but I think we're all good on that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Friends of Roosevelt Forest. Any other discussion on that? And I know it's Miss Dark Park, so Dark Park. I know I've seen some stuff on Forest page, I think most of the stuff has been handled. Any updates from anyone regarding the dog park?
Nope.
Bob, this is Eddie Bitsko. How are you?
Hi, Ed. How are you?
Good, thanks. I've just had, up at the dog park, I've heard some comments about replenishing the chips, the wood chips. I know it's not a good time right now, but something to put on the back burner, to alleviate the muckiness, the mud. If that's possible.
I think every year the town goes down there. I know Kelly usually works with Bob Levine over there, and they dump the chips, and then the volunteers kind of spread out. Kelly, is that fair to say that happens yearly? Or
Yep, and Bob's already reached out to me, and we're shooting for April.
perfect.
Excellent.
So thank you for bringing it up, Ed. I appreciate it. This isn't going to be the last discussion on wood chips at tonight's meeting, so interesting that you brought it up. So thank you.
Thank you.
Because what you think of forest, we're wood chips. All right, Friends of Roosevelt Forest Ultra Marathons. Excuse me one second. I just got to move my little screen here. I don't know how people work with one screen, by the way. So we have some races coming up.
That was my mistake. I don't know how I missed it. My lettering got off, but that's actually two individual line items, Friends of Roosevelt Forest Facebook page, and then the next item that should be D was ultra marathons. So my apologies.
Okay, so let's we'll go to C. We'll go to Friends of Roosevelt Forest Facebook page. Bob Ford, any discussion on that? You're the guru of the Facebook page.
Pro. I continue to take a look at people who are in order to avoid, there was a period of time where we were getting people who would join and then just, put ads for workers. We provide transportation. That seems to have pretty much stopped. Two things stand out as I look at the page. One is, I think Jack Wallace, if you guys know Jack Wallace is, I don't think I've ever met him, but he seems to participate in Facebook in a number of Stratford Facebook pages in a number of ways. Looks like he's set up some cameras in the forest to do wildlife. Has gotten some bobcats, some coyotes. That's all interesting. I think it's kind of neat that people look at that. Lou Loban continues to post crazy. One thing that did stand out to me is something about the number of trail markers. From past meetings, I think that I've mentioned, I think we tend to overmark the trails. And it was interesting to have somebody who actually went off on a little rant about, ruining the forest with all the markers. I think at this point, in terms of markers within the forest, replacing what's something that's come down is good. I don't think we need to mark anymore because it does have an effect on, what you experience when you walk the trails. There's always two sides to that, of course. There's always the folks who want to know exactly where they are and are worried about getting lost. But if you're taking a walk in a forest, it's reasonable that you have a well-marked trail, but not an overmarked trail. Other than that, everything seems to be going fine with the Facebook page.
Oh, that's great. That's all great news, and I agree with you, Bob. You and I have agreed to disagree on that. Trying to find the balance of overmarket and keeping everything natural. I think we have a pretty good balance at this point. And how I gauge it is lost people coming by my house. So that's my empirical study that I do. I haven't seen as many. So and there's a lot of people using the forest. So I think we have struck the right balance at this point. So and plus we've enhanced that too, and we'll talk more about that tonight about with QR codes and and the technology's gotten a lot better. So I think people get lost less. So and that's the whole key to the whole thing, Bob, right? So but good stuff, and thank you for doing all your work on the Facebook page and the Friends of Roosevelt Forest. Any other discussion on that? I want to cut down any discussion. No. Oh, perfect. So we will go to ultra marathons. We have some races coming up. I can't believe it's March tomorrow. but we have a race in April. I always lean. We have a whole bunch of races all the way to April 20th, but I think this evening we are looking for an approval of the Centurion Ultra, which I believe is one of Lou's big races, actually. June 29th and 30th of 2024. It's a pretty big race. So first, I'm looking for a motion for approval, and we'll have some discussion, obviously.
I'll move to approve the Centurion Ultra for June 29th through 30th in 2024.
Thank you so much.
Bill O'Brien,
and
seconds.
Do we have Bill O'Brien seconds? Now, discussion. Any discussion on this?
Yeah, my discussion is that he continues to run good races. The Centurion Ultra happens to be the one that, pretty faithfully over the last few years, I've had a chance to go up and talk with Lou and see the enthusiasm and just the fact that we're bringing people from outside who really like doing that. It's well worth it. It doesn't get in the way of anything that we're doing. I don't see any reason that we wouldn't let them continue to do it.
No. And I agree with you, Bob. Any other discussion on that? I will say it is a well-attended event. I want everyone to say prayers for good weather for that weekend. That has it coming up this year, this June. But it is a well-attended event. It's the runners are super respectful of the forest and their environment. And Lou has been just a great steward. So, if no other discussion, because I don't want to cut it off, but all in favor of this?
Aye.
Aye.
And all opposed? So it carries unanimously. So congrats to Lou and his group. So thank you for that. Park repair. I'm going to go right with Kelly on that. Do we have any updates, or we have anything egregious out there that we should know about at this point?
I don't have anything as far as actually. I will say that the tree crew was just in the forest at the police firing range, dropping some dead trees along the access road and just clearing up their fence line. But other than that, I don't know of any other repairs or any maintenance going on.
I do know that you guys have been out there a couple times. There's been some, natural large, for lack of better words, potholes in the parking lot that you guys have filled.
Yes.
I know we still have that one problem with that big hole right near the pavilion there, where we have it's an old new, right? Those cement what are they called? The cement fire pits that really weren't designed well. But we have a picnic bench over that. That's got to be filled in this year, Cal. You know which one I'm talking about there?
I know exactly which one. I will let Chad know again.
Yeah, I mean, of course, today they were out there plowing, but if they can get on that would be great. I mean, I don't think it's probably not a half a day's work with a couple guys there to just take care of that, but it's got to be fixed. I'm just worried from a safety issue. That's,
Yep, that's totally fair.
And I know you guys all are great with this, but if you have any concerns, if you see something, again, using the word egregious out there, please send Kelly an email, CC me, just to let her know what's going on. Public Works has been super responsive on fixing things that are, obviously dangerous to the public. So we want to make sure that's all taken care of.
Yeah, don't wait till the next meeting. We can handle it.
Yeah, don't. No. Yeah, if you guys see it, you see something, say something. I think maybe I didn't create that statement, but please do that. Any other comments on park repairs? I don't want to just poo-poo it.
at this point.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to ask, if we can, maybe I was thinking about, speaking about park repairs, is you know how the Boy Scout troops did the chips on Pumpkin Ground Road to the bridge?
Yes.
I'm thinking of approaching the high school coaches there, the athletic directors, maybe get some some team bonding, drop some chips and have teams go to spread that from there to the bridge. More chips are needed there to kind of
Okay.
fill that in.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at that recently. It's still wet over
Yeah,
there.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bob,
it's wet. Yeah, I mean,
my son is on the Bedell cross country team. He happened to be in the room, and he said that's a great idea.
yeah, that would be great. So yeah, if you get the cross country team, or I love the cross country teams, but the football teams always seem to have more numbers. So even if kids can't make it, if you even have a 20 to 30% type up, but maybe we get the fall sports teams down there on specific hours or whatever, but just to get the job done, that'd be great. So let's follow up with that. Dan, maybe you and I can talk offline on that as well. All right.
Yeah. I've both my kids are in sports at Bedell, so I hear from the athletic director every so often.
Awesome. That'd be great. Cool. I think it'd be a good bonding project, and it's pretty simple. Just jump, get wheelbarrows, dump chips, spread them. So it's pretty, easy
Yep, and
that
we
way.
have plenty of
All right.
chips, so happy to give you guys plenty of chip.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we organize, we get them dumped. We don't want them sitting at the end of the road for a couple of weeks. That's all. We got to get them, yeah, or that will not work. Perfect. Map updates. Go ahead.
I do have the tracker if they want to use that. It's easy to maneuver. Put the wood chips in there, make it a lot easier for them.
Thank you. Maybe we'll do that at we'll figure that out. We'll talk offline on the logistics of it. I just want to make sure we get the chips, get them spread, and then we'll get the finishing touches. Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate it. Map updates. Do we have anything on that?
So the scout who did the map update with the EMS markers that got some good press on the Facebook page, those are done. He is an Eagle Scout. The map has been shared with EMS, and also the coordinates for the different points on the map. I don't know if I can share a screen. I think I can't right now. Is that something that could be turned on? I could show you what it looks like.
I'm going to acquiesce to Aileen, who's the controller. Aileen, can he share?
Chuck. I just did, Chuck. Go ahead.
Okay. It's not kind of showing up that way on my screen. Well, and my connection has been lost.
Oh.
Yeah, I just got the same alert. So.
All right.
That's all right, but
maybe not. All right.
News,
so, but yeah. I think Kelly, you have a copy of this now.
Yes, I have a copy, but I have not made copies to put up in the kiosks yet.
Okay.
And
then
so there's still the older version.
We could roll into the next item. The current map does not have a QR code on it. I think it seems to me that the way to handle that is for the map to get uploaded to a page on the Town of Stratford website first, and then generate a code that can go to that web page. I know we talked about being able to generate a code, but I think until it's residing on a permanent place, you really can't, you really can't do that. So,
Chuck, is this something you can share with us or no? Or is it on a different website?
As of now, it's not on a website. I think Kelly has the final copy. I can
share my screen and show you.
circulate it to the mailing list for the commission, so everybody can see it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
So
Thank you, Chuck.